Hello, everyone. This is DJ Ocean Spray, and I'm here to give you an off-the-record interview. You're listening to WKNC 88.1 HD1 Raleigh. We're a radio station at NC State University. I am here today with the lead singer from the Durham-based band Sluice. So, Justin, where are you from and what do you do?
I'm from Winston-Salem, but live in Durham now with my bandmates, and I play in the band Sluice.
I've read that you are also an engineer, which I think is audio engineering.
Yeah,
But
that's
can you
right.
tell me a little bit about it?
Totally. Yeah, I went to college for that. I went to UNC Asheville and studied audio engineering, and yeah, like studio recording and live sound and that kind of thing. And so yeah, I record bands and I have a little studio at my house, that kind of thing.
And what's the story behind the name Sluice?
Sluice, I think primarily is just a word that I thought was cool. And the more that I thought about it, I thought that the meaning actually was fitting and felt applicable. But the first time I was exposed to it was on like a historical marker, like a roadside historical marker. On the way, my family used to go up to Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. We would rent a house there every year, and yeah, just play in the water and stuff. But yeah, there was always a historical marker on the side of the road advertising Slink Shoal Sluice, which is like a particular sluice. But I just thought that was the funniest combinations of words that was really hard to say. So that just kind of stuck in my head for a while, but I didn't really think anything of it. And then, yeah, I was looking for a way to release music without just using my own name, and thought that the word sluice was fitting as like a pressure release.
Yeah, that's very cool. And how exactly did the band start?
Yeah, so like I said, I had just written some songs by myself and was working on recording them, and met up with my good friend Avery Sullivan, who drums in the band now. We were living together in New York, and we were living in a apartment with a really sketchy landlord, and all of our apartment mates, people that lived in the other units of the building, moved out because they were upset with the treatment, which is completely reasonable. And we just decided, we were just going to roll the dice and try to stick around for a little bit. So there was a multiple month period where we had access to a full apartment and could make noise in it. So we just put some equipment in the basement of the building, and that's where we made the first record. Just me and Avery down in our apartment, which was fun. So yeah, just started out as like a recording project, and then after I came back down to Durham, like I said, I'm from North Carolina, but yeah, came back down, and yeah, we figured out a live band, and that was right before COVID, so we had a bit of a false start. But yeah, now I've been able to play more shows together and out in the world, which has felt really nice.
Yeah, so when did your personal journey with music start? Like, have you always enjoyed listening or creating music?
I think so. I could maybe ask my parents. Yeah, I've always been big into music. There's some like fun little photos or like home videos of my mom's brother, my uncle Jimmy, who actually went to state, go Pack, is a great guitar player and would always play guitar and sing John Prine songs and things like that at vacations. And there's a great photo of me as a baby, just like totally transfixed watching him play guitar, which is very sweet. But yeah, I think I was always drawn to music, and probably got started singing in like church choir growing up, and then took some lessons. I took piano lessons and took guitar lessons, and yeah, just really enjoyed it and kept up with it.
And who is your like greatest musical inspiration?
That's a hard question. I don't know. It changes a lot. I feel like I go through big periods of like really worshiping people,
Mhm.
and then they still stay with me, but they're not always like, oh, this person is the one. I feel like recently I've been really into Dan Riggins
Okay.
from Friendship. I think he's such a great writer, and I've really enjoyed hearing his music. And I've gotten to meet him a couple times, and he's a really sweet guy. It's a small world, the like indie music scene, I guess,
Yeah.
but I love his writing.
And I heard that you really like Bruce Springsteen, and I thought that was really interesting considering his music is very different from yours.
Yeah.
Um, like as a child, did you like enjoy things that, were more similar to like, Sluice's kind of folky sound, or did you like things they were more like Bruce Springsteen, like kind of different from that.
Yeah, I feel like the stuff I've been making now definitely isn't what I've always listened to. And Bruce, my dad's a huge Bruce fan. He took us to see Bruce in 2002, I think. So that was my first concert when I was maybe 9. Is that right? And yeah, so I was just totally raised on that music and had a funny arc of really loving it as a kid and then being a teenager and getting into slightly more experimental music or getting into folk music and being like, oh, I don't like this like arena rock. I don't need this. And now have fully come back around to being like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a total genius. I love his music. Yeah.
Okay, and so like more about your own music. Sluice's music personally reminds me of like running around my family's mountain house in like the summertime with all my cousins, and it's like so nostalgic and like not in the corny way, but it feels like it's like filled with like love kind of. Like what do you want to portray with Sluice's music, or like what are you trying to tell through it?
I would love to tell that. That sounds really beautiful. I wasn't picturing your family's mountain
Yeah.
house, but I'm glad that that was your experience. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's I mean maybe all music is about personal relationships, but yeah, like personal relationships and intimacy and nature are definitely big themes that I've written about a lot.
Is there a specific place that has kind of inspired your music?
I think going to college in the mountains was really big for me. Just I didn't grow up doing a ton of camping or like frolicking. I guess I did do a lot of frolicking in Winston-Salem as a kid, just standard kid stuff. But that really got me into backpacking and spending extensive time outside and just like learning more about ecology and things like that just in college. So yeah, I think like Western North Carolina was a big inspiration to me. But when I moved to New York, I was only there for a little bit and I really didn't like being in a big city up north. I really miss
Yeah.
North Carolina. I feel like
Oh
it was
my
pretty formative
Mhm.
just to being like, oh, I really miss home. And living in the Triangle, which I hadn't done before, I've been really struck by how beautiful central North Carolina is. The Eno River features pretty prominently on the last Sluice record, just in places that songs were written. And yeah, I love the Piedmont. It's a beautiful part of the state.
Yeah, I think it's very beautiful. People don't really talk about it that often. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's like
great.
really looked over.
Totally.
So what genre would you like put Sluice in?
I think it's an indie rock project that has a lot of folk influences and has some like ambient music
Mhm.
influences, but yeah, I think it's primarily I don't know, singer-songwriter, indie rock, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so you've toured and opened for a lot of musicians. Would you ever like want to work with people outside of Sluice, like a feature or something, or would you want to keep it contained?
Oh yeah, I think that would be great. I feel like a big breakthrough with this last record, Radio Gate, that we put out is there's so many people on the record.
Mhm.
The first one was really just me and Avery, which was great and fun to work like that. But this one fully just opened it up to all of my friends that I thought could do cool things on it. So yeah, I would love to continue that. And if there was somebody that wanted to collaborate, it would be great too.
And what musician, alive or dead, would you want to collaborate with? Like if you could choose anybody.
Whoa. I mean, I feel like all my favorite ones I would feel nervous to be with, so maybe I wouldn't want to. But somebody like Arthur Russell would be incredible to play with. His voice is so amazing. I would love to like sing behind him. It would feel really nice. Somebody like that would be amazing.
Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of your band members are part of several other bands, but you kind of like form like a little community together, like it's all intertwined, and it seems like a very fun and supportive community. Like how did it form?
Thanks. I'm glad it feels like that. Yeah, it's really fun to have that be recognized a little bit because yeah, I feel like me and all my friends have worked really hard on playing music and supporting each other, just in getting really excited about people's Bandcamp records that you put up and not a lot of people listen to, but those become some of your favorite songs. And yeah, we all play in each other's bands and record each other's music, and it's very sweet. What was your question with that? How did that happen?
Yeah, like how did it begin?
Well, I feel like I've known a lot of these people for a long time. like Aaron Dowdy, I play in the band Fust, which is his project. He is as much of an inspiration to me as Bruce Springsteen, for sure. He's such an incredible writer and a great guy to hang out with and to play music with. But yeah, I think just having sustained friendships and really enjoying being around people, and we've all sort of shaped each other's tastes just by being around. And I also think we've gotten lucky of people starting to care about the music in a way that allows us to, it's kind of lit a fire, I feel like, oh, we should really try this. Like, oh, should we buy a van? Like, let's make it happen. So I'm excited about where it all goes, and I hope we can keep that same sort of familial type relationship with each other creatively.
And are the projects that everyone has with other bands, would you say that they're similar to like Sluice? Or like, are they cohesive, or are they like very different?
I think it makes sense. They all sort of exist in the same universe in my understanding of it, but they are all different projects. I think if they were all right on the nose, there would be maybe more like competition feeling with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Fust project is like an avant country project. I don't know if Aaron would describe it that way, but that feels different than Sluice. My friend Oliver Child Lanning, that plays in Sluice as well, we have a project together called Weirs. That's like a experimental traditional folk project that feels very different than Sluice, but still in the same world. And yeah, like Avery Sullivan plays in the Indigo de Souza band, and that's very different music, but still, in the umbrella of indie rock or something like that. So I feel like it's all comfortably in different corners of the same universe.
Yeah, definitely. And you played at Hopscotch. Were you able to see any other artists play there?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of running around, so I also was just resting for some of it too. I saw Flory a couple times, which was amazing. I love Flory. They're on Dear Life Records, which Fust is as well. I got to see Whitmer Thomas play. I really love Whitmer Thomas. I'm a big fan of his comedy. But he had like a musical project play, which was really fun. I caught a little bit of Japanese Breakfast, which was amazing.
Yes.
I'd never seen them before, but that was just astounding to see the main stage.
It really
like
was,
that.
yeah.
You were there?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that was an awesome, the gong.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so amazing.
Yeah, her stuff, it was like so intricate. Everything she had like went with her theme, and like it was just so cohesive. It was very cool.
Yeah, they're completely killing it and seem like they totally deserve it. That is exciting to see.
Yeah. And so I know you released Radial Gate this year, but do you have any other like projects that you've started or you're thinking about? I saw that you guys were recording something recently and chickens were somehow involved.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was the new Weirs record, that folk project with Oliver Child Lanning. Yeah, we were recording that, I think maybe 2 weekends ago. He has a family farm and a really old farmhouse that's been in his family for, I think, hundreds of years.
Wow.
They've at least tracked the history back to a land grant from King George.
Oh my gosh, that's sick.
I might be missing some of the history here, but yeah, a wild amount of history in that old farmhouse. But yeah, we went up there for a weekend and took some gear and had maybe 8 or 9 people on it and did a lot of playing. It's an old like dairy farm that's now being leased out to other places, but there's an old silo for all the grain to feed the cows. And we climbed into a little hole in the silo and we did a couple of songs there.
Oh, wow.
And it's so reverberant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun to sing in there with like a 8 or 9 second reverb tail. It just sounds like a cathedral, but it's this kind of creepy Carcosa falling apart silo. Yeah, so that was really fun.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break to play Cinturon by Sluice. We will be right back.
I'm flying on my Roman commander, cutting air cuts my face. And whose skin is this? And whose neighborhood? Where's my mom? Where my baby. I'm flying on my Roman Commander, just like that night when we snuck out way by the creek. So sweet for hours, for hours. Poison ivy. I got that itch. I got it back. And it feels so good to burn it. In scalding water. With reckless cycling. I'm flying.
So the first time I saw Sluice perform was opening for Indigo D'Souza in Asheville. Have most of your shows like been in the Southeast region, or have you played in other parts of America?
Yeah, the Sluice project, most of our stuff until that Indigo opening tour had really just been in Durham. I think we had maybe played 3 or 4 shows, something like that. Because, yeah, we put out the self-titled record just on Bandcamp and then played 1 show in Durham at Arcana, that bar downtown. And then I think that was early March 2020. So we just kind of like, we're not playing any shows anymore like everybody else. But yeah, with that tour, we went all the way up to Canada. We started in Madison, Wisconsin. So that was, it went from a tiny area to a really big area. And I'd played a little bit before in New York and played in some other bands that did some Northeast touring. But nothing that extensive before.
Yeah. Do you have any pre or post show rituals?
It's a good question. I've been meaning to try to solidify that because I feel like that could be helpful.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played enough shows that I really feel like, and maybe I'll never know this, but I don't know how to like guarantee a good show. Probably no one can guarantee a good show, but the idea of solidifying a ritual sounds really nice. But yeah, with those Indigo shows, I feel like me and Avery and Oliver would always just try to find each other side stage or something and kind of huddle up and, I don't know, center ourselves and then go off into it. And it feels really nice to be grounded by just being with your friends when you walk onto a big stage.
Yeah.
'Cause I definitely get nervous.
And is your like friendship with Avery how you were able to like meet Indigo and like start touring with her and stuff, or?
Yeah, that definitely was a big piece in it. Indigo and my younger sister were really good friends for a long time, and I went to school in Asheville, and it's a small town. So, Indigo's manager is one of my best friends from college, and it's all just very intertwined.
That's crazy.
So I think it was Indigo specifically that invited us, which was really kind.
Yeah, so she knew you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's such a small world. Like I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Also, so what is at the top of your rider? So it's like, for those listening, if you don't know what a rider is, it's like a list of demands sometimes artists will make. Do you have one or?
Very newly, we had one. We were sort of goaded is the wrong word, but I'm used to not being treated
Yeah.
with any sort of like diva-ness. I don't know if that's a word. And so, yeah, a couple days into the Indigo tour, their tour manager was like, guys, there's money left over in the hospitality budget. You guys should, put some stuff down. And I was like, tortilla chips
Oh my gosh.
and light beer? Is that okay? So yeah, it's all pretty minimal. And most of the times the shows that we're playing are not paying us so much money
Yeah.
that they can spend a lot of money on us. But maybe my dream rider would be like, I don't know, some ginger ale kombuchas.
Yeah.
Some nice coffee. Some nice cheese and crackers. Things like that. But for now, I'll take what we can get.
Sounds like a good list. Potential good list. And what is the crowd usually like at your shows?
I've been really impressed with the shows that we've played, especially a lot of the opening slots of crowds largely being really attentive, which I was nervous about just because a lot of these songs have a lot of space in them and aren't always very loud and are emotionally precious to me. So it feels really nice when people are quiet and pay attention. And we've gotten a really warm reception from playing those for people that hadn't seen us before, which has felt great. So yeah, we haven't played enough to really be like, oh, our audience is always X, but largely I've been really impressed and really, really happy to hear that people enjoy it.
I mean, I feel like your music is so atmospheric that it kind of draws everyone's attention in, and it's hard not to pay attention. But I've never really noticed people like talking through your set. And also, so Oliver plays an instrument that looks like a pedal attached to an accordion.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Totally. Yeah, this like really locked in our sound, I feel like. It's also, I love that you are asking about this because I love to talk about it, but truly every show someone comes up to him and is like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's an instrument called a shruti box. I think it's spelled SHRUTI, and it's from like Indian drone music tradition. And yeah, like you said, it's similar to an accordion. It has bellows and it folds in on itself, and it's a reed instrument. But instead of an active keyboard that you play with your hand, the keyboard is on the face of the instrument and it has little toggles. So you like toggle out the key that you want and then it just stays on. So it's like a sustained drone. So instead of having to press a key and then depress it, it just always stays. So he'll plug in the notes of a chord that relate to the key of the song that we're playing. And then he has a pedal that uses I think it uses like the same kind of tubing with a wire through it that you'd use for like a bicycle gear switch. And so he pumps it with his feet, which then compresses the bellows and then plays the drone through that. So it's blowing air through reeds.
And this is something you didn't make yourself, you like bought this?
Yeah, he bought it online. I think he bought it from India.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he like sent out for it online and got it shipped in. But it's a beautiful instrument and really fills in a lot of space.
It does. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what it was. Okay, and so you said in college you were able to play some music. Like, what was the music scene like when you were in college?
It was great. Yeah, I learned so much and met so many people playing music in college. I was in a band called Aunt Sis with just a bunch of friends that lived together or were good pals. And there's a venue called the Mothlight that was really, really welcoming, and we played a ton of shows there.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like that was really where I learned how to be in a band, just from playing those shows and how the equipment works and how to sound check and how to do all that stuff. But yeah, even outside of that too, there was a pretty vibrant house show scene. I lived in a house that had a lot of house shows. I don't think I can say the name of the house on the air. Very goofy place, but a lot of fun memories there. And yeah, just a ton of creative people and a ton of good bands there.
Yeah. Okay. And so did you grow up in a musical family? Like, did your parents like play music or play or enjoy it, you know?
Definitely music fans. My dad would tell you that he's not musical at all, but he actually is very musical. He grew up playing guitar very casually. He had a friend in the neighborhood that taught him how to play some like Rush and some like fun '80s electric guitar stuff. Fairly simple. And then my mom as well, but he's been super supportive of me getting into music. And when I was maybe 12 to 15 or so, I was taking guitar lessons, and he took guitar lessons also alongside,
Okay.
like from the same teacher. So we'd be able to play together and stuff, which was really sweet. And he still plays guitar. He'll like pull up like John Prine live on YouTube and strum along to it. But he would maybe be embarrassed that I'm telling you that. I think it's great.
Yeah. And so there's very little information about you and Sluice on the internet. Is that intentional?
Not intentional.
Okay.
We just haven't really been like any amount of notable for very long.
Okay.
It was just brought to my attention that there's a Sluice Wikipedia page, which is massive for my ego.
Well, I've seen like the Pitchfork article and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was crazy, like considering Sluice doesn't have like a huge following. I mean, the review was really good and it was a pretty good rating. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was super flattered to get that. I was not expecting it.
And do you have any hobbies other than music?
Yeah. Hobbies other than music. I like backpacking. I'm about to go on a trip in the Smokies in about a week and a half, which I'm pretty excited about. The work that I do regularly is carpentry. So I enjoy woodworking and working with my hands and just kind of like tinkering and figuring out how things work. That's really fun. I just like walking.
Yeah.
Normal stuff.
And so do you not work as an audio engineer anymore?
No, I haven't really pursued that recently as like a main primary source of income. I've really enjoyed doing it for fun. I've had a lot of like personal inner turmoil of like, should I be following my dreams of X or Y? Just because I feel like with art and music and all that stuff, like putting money on it complicates it. And I've definitely gone through periods of feeling burned out in working specifically in music, that I didn't want to be creative outside of my job. And so I feel like pretty intentionally I've been trying to separate that part of my life. But I've been really excited about being able to tour and get to play more. So that's something I've been thinking of like, oh, should I be doing that more because it's feeling good right now? Or is that good to keep a divide and have my day job that I do, and then I take time off and go do the thing that makes my heart happy or whatever.
I mean, I guess that knowledge can only really help you when creating your own music and stuff.
For sure.
Do you enjoy touring? Like, has it been a good experience? I mean, I guess it probably isn't super luxurious, but like, what is it like for you?
Yeah. These last couple legs have been really fun and really exciting and great to do it with people that I really love. I think doing it outside of that context can get really hairy because it's not glamorous, or my experience of it at this point has not been very glamorous. It's a lot of not sleeping and not making much money at all and driving long distances. But yeah, it's felt really validating to play for people and to have people be excited about stuff and to get to travel that way. It's a funny way to travel because you really don't get to see much of a city.
Yeah.
Because it's really brief and contained. But no, it's definitely an honor to be able to do it. If people are interested, I plan on keeping it up.
And so is there anything else you would like to talk about or mention?
Yeah, I guess, I told you about the Weirs recording. We are working on the new Sluice record, which I'm excited about. I don't have much more to say other than that. It's coming together.
Okay.
But yeah, we're about to go on tour supporting Superchunk for a couple of days. 3 shows actually in Asheville, Charlotte, and then a little homecoming show in Durham. And that's this Sunday. Should be fun.
And where can people find your social media?
We have an Instagram account that's sluice.ig is the handle. We have a Bandcamp, sluice.bandcamp.com. you can email us at sluicellc@gmail.com. I think that's the end of my my internet access.
Okay. And you also have an upcoming event in the back room of the Cat's Cradle?
Yeah, so this upcoming couple of runs we're doing with Superchunk, and then I'm doing a solo tour opening for A Savage
Okay.
of Parquet Courts, and we'll be at the back room. We can insert the date. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
November 7th.
Oh, November 7th.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be at the back room November 7th.
Okay. Okay, so I am DJ Ocean Spray on Off the Record with Justin from Sluice on WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. Thank you so much for listening to this interview. You can find more interviews at wknc.org/podcasts. Thank you so much for being with me here today, Justin. I will send the listeners off with one last song by Sluice, Squirrel. Thank you so much for listening.
I've been known to ramble town to town, running fast right through the brambles and falling down. But baby, it feels good sticking around. Ten months in, 2 months' time, sun will come round again and melt the sludge down the drain. It'll trickle down into the sea. Maybe stop the train from screeching so loud I grip my teeth. Waiting with this haggard crew in a town where I've no kin, to work a job, to drive the rent, to feed myself, to sing the song about not knowing what the hell to do. But I love my friends and they love me, and I wouldn't know where else to be. Now I'm trying to be more like that squirrel in the park, vibrating, warm, finding good things to eat in the muck.